Let's do this. Hello and welcome to the Creator Academy, a place where we talk about everything to do with creation, either photos or videos. And today's topic is cinematic black bars, a tutorial how to actually achieve that look, how to make them move in and out of frame, and also when, why to use them, and when, why not to use them. This video is actually going to be split into part 1 and part 2. The first part is actually going to be the tutorial in a second on the laptop. The second part is going to be the why, when to use it or not to use it. So let's start with part 1, how to make the cinematic black bars and how to make them move in and out of frame. Let's go to my laptop. And now let's get into my laptop, and as you can see, we are on Premiere Pro. How can we make those cinematic black bars and how to make them move up and down depending where we want it to be? So first off, I put a clip here that I slowed down and a little bit of color grading just to have something. For example, how do we actually do those cinematic black bars? All we have to do is make sure we're selected on the project that we're doing, then File, New, and we go to the adjustment layer. It should be matching our sequence. Now, if we go over here, we go and make it as long as we want it to be. For example, if it's a whole cinematic sequence, it will not be just one clip like we have right here. It will be a lot more than this. So we can actually make it longer or shorter depending on how long you want the cinematic black bars to be there. But now for the cinematic black bars. We go into the effects, and from effects we have to type in crop. From crop, we actually have to drag it over to adjustment layer. Once we have it on the adjustment layer, all we have to do is make sure that this is selected, go down into the crop, and add in, for example, 10% to the top and 10% to the bottom. But let's say we want a little bit more, we can always just change it to 15, whatever number you might feel is the right one for this one. So for example, let's leave it at 15, just, I know it's cutting out the lags, but just for the example of how to make it move in and out, because right now, as you can see, the whole adjustment layer is just static with the black bars. What we can do is actually use this, the time toggle animation, the keyframe thing, and let's say the clip is starting right around here, and we want it to be cinematic black bars only from here. So what we have to do is, as you can see, I have it selected on here on the timeline, and it's here on the same timeline here. All we have to do is click the time watch of the 15% and 15% that we were doing, and from here, all you have to do is go back into the timeline where you want it to start and just reset and reset. Basically from here to here is going to go from 0 to 15%, and thanks to this, now we have them coming into the play. What do we do when we want to actually, let's say from this cinematic you want to go back to talking and vlogging and you want to have it without the cinematic black bars? It's very simple. All you have to do is actually select those two, Control C to copy, Control V to paste in that spot. So for example, we want it here, and then Control C the zeros and Control V to paste. Thanks to this, now we have the same thing but going backwards. And as you can see, we now have a sequence with the cinematic black bars, and then once the sequence is done, you can just open it up. Basically, if you want to have it for more different clips, for example, if we had more, I'm gonna just copy and paste just so you see. And let's actually reverse this just so it's a unique clip. All you have to do is just slide it over for the duration of the whole 2 clips now, or 3 depending how long you want it to be, and just make sure that the ins and outs are moved back to the place you want them so that they're still here all the way where you want it to open. So that has been it for the part 1, which is the tutorial how to actually get the cinematic black bars and how to make them move in and out. So now that you know how to actually achieve the cinematic black bars and how to make them move in and out, well, now let's talk about when to use them and why, and when not to use them and why not. The cinematic black bars actually make the footage look a little bit more longer, and thanks to this, it kind of looks like the way you actually see the movies on TV, in the cinema, All those videos usually are in that aspect ratio, a little bit wider. Thanks to the cinematic black bars, you can get that cinematic feel. If you want to have cinematics to be a little bit more cinematic, you could add those in. But here is why I don't personally use them and why I usually don't try to force them into my videos, and why I think they're actually not always the right thing to do. Usually my cinematics are from travel, and because of that, I actually value a little bit more screen acid instead of the cinematic black bars. Thanks to this, I actually don't have to cut the top and the bottom of the screen, and because of that, I don't lose that extra image. You know, a lot of times it would actually ruin the shots. I know it looks cinematic, but from my experience, my travel videos are supposed to show you the location. And thanks to this, I can show a little bit more if I just use the whole frame, the full HD, instead of having the cinematic black bars. So in my opinion, it's very dependent on what kind of video you're doing. If you're doing some action scenes, if you're doing something like a movie, go ahead, do those cinematic black bars. I really like them when I have like a slider of an item, we're doing like a review of something, and then you have like an item or something, we're focused on something. It's very good. But when I'm trying to show you as much as I can, I'm showing you a drone shot of a certain place, I'm showing you a place from the camera, whatever it is, doing the cinematic black bars takes away from that experience. The viewers may not see the whole picture as much as you can. That's why I like to show as much as possible instead of making the screen smaller. So that's gonna be it for today, but before we end this video, a couple things that I wanted to mention very quickly. First off, if you like the music in this video or in any other of my work, check out Epidemic Sound. It's gonna be a link down below. And if you choose to sign up through that link, you'll get 30 days free. And if you choose to become a paying subscriber, well, there's gonna be kickback for me. Second off, if you want to support this channel, check out my website and Patreon. If you become a patron, well, there are things coming back your way. We send out monthly postcards from the places that we visit. Some of them taken from the location we're in, and some of them are actually handmade with our photos stitched together into a postcard and with handmade drawings on the back. And last but not least, if you want to join a travel community, check out Travel the World. It's a Facebook travel community. If you're into that kind of stuff, check it out. It's gonna be a link down below. So that's gonna be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and I will see you next time.